All righty, we're going to keep this meeting short today. Just a couple of reminders. In December, I think it was November or December, we went over the contract, and just a reminder that you guys have some outgoing referrals and AGRs to work on this year. So I just wanted to remind you to start those early. So it's just now February, so now is a great time. Also a reminder that the RELO OneDrive link is always pinned to the top of Slack. If you guys haven't put that on your computer yet, Slack, you should do that. Let me know if you need help with that. And I think we're just going to go right into Better Mortgage. We got our first Better Mortgage referral this last month, and I'm really hoping to get some more. I'm going to let Denise just kind of take that. I think I'll share my screen, Denise, and I've got all of those attachments in PDFs, and you can just steer me where you want me to go.
Okay.
Let me find that.
So while Jordan is talking about, she mentioned outgoing referrals and AGRs and our commitment to that. And I know we've talked about it a bajillion times, and I know it's a tiresome conversation, but you know, and we've mentioned this all along, is that it is our absolute commitment to be able to get more business by driving that behavior and showing Carta/Realogy, you know, our partnership. And so the biggest thing that you can do for us and for yourself, frankly, to get more business is to make the investment in doing this. AGRs, my recommendation is you look for a lower end deal that you have out in the retail market, you know, something that's, you know, it as defined by you as a lower end deal, because you can put anybody in an affinity program. I mean, we have a program for everyone, and that's the truth. I mean, there are no qualifiers. There's no program that we can't put somebody in where they would either get, depending on your state, the cash back or the commission credit or something. And if we could knock those out before the end of February, that would just really, really be absolutely fabulous. So just begging you, frankly, to look at your deals, look at your retail business and see if you have any opportunity to help in any way. And also when your outgoing referrals is the same thing. So just a friendly reminder that it's really important as we work towards getting this now premier status under our belts that we do that. Okay, Better Mortgage. Now, and Better Mortgage is an affinity program. Better Mortgage sends referrals to our company. And of course, these are customers of Better Mortgage that have, you know, enrolled in their program. And as a result of their enrollment in the program, they get this $2,000 upfront lender credit. Now, of course, in order for them to be able to collect that $2,000 credit, they must be in compliance with the program. And what that means is, of course, they have to use Better Mortgage, and they have to use the assigned broker, and they have to use that assigned agent. Now, Jordan, did these come through digital, or was this a direct placement to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to remember. I believe this was digital.
Okay. So that would be a key point then for us to remember, is if we get a digital lead, you know, through the Carta's digital platform, that if it says Better, that we all know immediately, okay, they need to use the mortgage program. Now, you can also see in the little blue box there that, you know, that the save the deal is critical. And so you need to please, if your customer is shopping and looking elsewhere, you got to let Jordan know immediately so that she can then do a save the deal. And typically in that scenario, Better Mortgage will come to the table with something, you know, a little bit more attractive based on whatever those customer needs are. Now, as a part of this is still a referral fee driven program, but for those of you who are in commission credit states, this is not a commission credit scenario because the customer is getting their benefits through the mortgage program. Your contribution of your referral fee is going directly back to Cardis, and then Cardis then shares it with Better Mortgage. So because we're not paying the customer in this relationship, Better Mortgages, we just straight up have to pay the referral fee. So this is different. And I'm sorry, Jordan, what is it? Oregon's the commission credit, right?
Yes.
So for those of you in Oregon who would typically be looking at, the commission credit spiel, that doesn't apply here. This is just a unique program based on how the benefits are given to the customer in this transaction. And I have seen a lot of growth with this program, and I'm seeing excellent conversion rates. So I think that this is a really good opportunity for us. If you get these leads, that they are closing at a very high conversion rate. So, but it's just another little thing that comes up as we look to managing the affinity programs. What were on the other slides, Jordan?
Okay, so we've just got a couple of flyers here that are available.
Okay.
And then, so there's that one and this one. Oh, let me go to, there were a few more pages.
Yeah, okay, this was the training one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, this is just some factual information. As I said, I think we covered this in our training when we talked about all the affinity programs. It is showing a lot of growth. And what are on the other slides? Oh, okay. So this is a reason why these are some talking points that you could engage with when you're talking to their customer about the things that that there's no origination fee, there's no commission. They typically close 2 times faster than the industry rate. So really, it's a good product. What else we got? Oh, the rate tables. Yeah. Okay. And they do have the portal. Okay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot exciting here. It's just something different that they do. And they do, if you take a screenshot of this, they do have an agent hotline that would be really important that, you just have that information, but truly you would go to Jordan if they're shopping rates.
Right. And actually, I just did get this from them in the last week or so. So it's just another, and this is all in the OneDrive, you guys. So you have access to all of this.
Good.
Yeah. So if it's an affinity,
and this is not a program.
I was just gonna say, Denise looked into it, and you don't need to do any of the affinity paperwork, that the typical affinity paperwork. This is just kind of a one-off, even though it is an affinity.
Yes, it's an affinity program. It's a little bit strange. Also, we don't AGR into this program. This is a program, the leads are created by Better Mortgage and sent out. We're not sending people to them.
Right, yeah. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I'd say no.
No.
Something that is of interest, not particularly related to this, and I don't know the answer yet, nor does Jordan, is that some of the metrics for Cardis are going to be changing in 2021 based on the new leadership and all of the changes that are coming about. And so I would think in early March, or on maybe we won't wait, I don't know, for our March meeting, is that we're going to be talking about all of the new metrics, and most particularly the raw conversion rates. Cardis has announced that in 2021, the conversion rate is purely going to be raw. So all of those reasons, which were all perfectly legitimate as to why a buyer didn't buy with us or a seller didn't sell with us, are no longer, it is a no challenge, no a no escalation process. They either buy with us, they sell with us, or they don't. Now, I am going to say though, that I believe that this is a path to failure, and I believe that this will be rescinded by Cardis. So in the meantime, as we get referrals, it's really important that we continue to keep Jordan informed about what the scenario was. So if a buyer didn't buy with you, but you know they couldn't qualify, or you know that these scenarios are the various reasons why these things happen, you still need to treat it and keep Jordan informed, because I think that once Cardis sees the outcome of this decision on raw conversion, that they are going to change their minds. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to go back historically, but I don't believe that this is going to be long-term sustainable. It's going to be very difficult as the Realogy Advantage Broker Network to go out into the marketplace to try to sell the services and the organization of the Realogy Advantage Network, and go out to, let's say, another relocation management company and say, yes, you should use our network, and we've got a fabulous 30% conversion, right? 30% conversion ain't going to convince anybody to do anything. And that's what Cardis is setting itself up for. I don't think that the folks who are making the decisions understand the ramifications of what they're doing. Not saying they're dumb, I'm just saying I don't think they understand it. Because it's all new leadership, they've not been in the depths of this whole thing. But it's going to drive conversion rate down to, I'm going to say, it's to 28 to 30%, which is going to be horrible looking to everyone on the outside, because nobody measures conversion on an overall basis. So anyway, that's just
Denise,
a little.
do you know why they made that decision?
Yes. Well, okay. As you can imagine, you know, there are tens of thousands of leads that come out from Cardis every year, and the agent, the broker, would put in information, let's say on an affinity program, that the buyer didn't buy because they couldn't qualify, or their destination changed, or any of those reasons that allowed us to not be negatively impacted, of which there were like 12 or 15 of them. This has always been a huge a huge problem for Cardis, because in order to verify that and have, you know, the ability to verify with their clients and to be able to speak intelligently, there has been a task force of a call center that typically calls these leads and follows up with them to verify that information. Well, you can imagine that's a bajillion man hours and a bajillion people on the phone, and you can't really tie any revenue to it because you know you're calling on a deal that didn't go through. So it's been a huge expense to Cardis, and new leadership looked at it and said, oh, we're just going to do away with that. So sure, on paper it looks great, you know, we're going to do away with this call center, we're going to do away with all these people and all of these needs and all that jazz by shutting that down. So now they won't have to do this anymore, nor will they have to engage with people like me who contact them all the time and say, you know, I've got a list of 20 here and all of these things. Jordan does it, we all do it, and we fight Cardis. I mean, you know, we don't accept that Cardis says, oh no, that's going to count against you as a no sale, and we fight about it and we push on it to get it turned into a decline. Well, there's a lot of time and money and energy put into it that Cardis decided under new leadership, we're not going to do that anymore, and we're going to save Cardis all this money. Well, that's great, other than the fact that, you know, as I said, conversion rate's going to easily drop to 28 to 30% overnight. As soon as they start doing this, it's going to crash, and then that's going to be a huge problem.
Huh, that is very interesting.
That's my crystal ball.
Okay, well, we shall see what happens.
Yes. So Jordan, have we gotten any AGRs or outgoing referrals since you and I last spoke?
Well, we've gotten quite a few outgoing referrals.
Oh, good.
Mostly, yeah, mostly not from RELO people. So, but that's good because that counts too. So even, you know, anybody in the company can do those, and that counts for us. AGRs, no, we have gotten no AGRs, so we would love for you guys to find somebody, find a client you have, and just let me know that you want to enroll them and what you want to enroll them in. And then just a reminder, you submit an AGR the same way you do an outgoing referral. There's a couple different ways. You log into your e-relocation account and there's a submit referral tab, and that just opens up that fillable form and then it goes right to me. Also, you can pop on the knipestore.com and there's the outgoing referral tab on there. And that has an erelocation.net hyperlink, which takes you again to that exact same form so that you can do that easily on your phone. But there's a drop down on that where you choose if it's an outgoing referral or if it's an AGR. So that's how you submit one. So do you have any suggestions to them, Denise, on the best kind of referrals to easily enroll, or not referrals, clients to easily enroll? I know. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that part of the thing I was talking about is at this juncture, I would be looking at some of the lower priced deals that you have, and then speaking with them about it, because obviously it's going to be a lower price point or cost point to you. And I think everybody should have that one pager that we created, and you can put them in anything. As I said, if they don't fall into any, okay, if anybody ever served in the military at any time that they're ever aware of, they qualify for the Realogy Military Rewards Program. I mean, if somebody in their family was in the Civil War, that counts. And there's no verification process with it, like there are with Navy. And then, honestly, if they're living and breathing, we'll put them in friends and family. So any opportunity is available to anyone.
And does that end up being, is that a 25%? Is that what that ends up being, or is that 37?
That's a 25. It's because you're enrolling, we're calling it a referral fee, but it's not really, it's more of you referring them into a program. So it's a 25% referral fee, quote unquote, that will come out of your commission.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, because the 25,
I'll put them in.
Oh, thank you. The 25% is obviously much lower than it is when it's an incoming to us, right? And so the 25% is the bare minimum. And so NIPE is not upcharging that or doing anything with it. The 25% that is collected goes directly to Cardis, and Cardis then shares that money between Cardis and the client, who's funding the referral fee back to that member. So the 25%, is great. It's the best deal around in terms of all of my other companies that I look at that upcharge. And so you're paying exactly what the broker is paying.
Does anyone have any questions on that? I'm sorry, what was that, Denise?
Something down in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I do see there's a chat. Oh, Angela says thanks.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, does anyone have any questions about anything else RELO, since we're very early, just for about the next 5 or 6 minutes? I know that you guys asked me questions, privately in a phone conversation. Is there anything that you're confused about or that's just been on your mind that you want to, because most likely if you have that question, everybody else does too.
So Jordan, I'm going to ask this question just because it is something that I asked you, and I want to
Sure.
know if anybody else is knows this other than what you've already done. So if you are a Cardis, if it's a corporate referral for a listing, and you have done your BMA and you thought you had, or you had conversation with the seller and there was competition and all that, do we wait for Cardis to get back in touch with us? Do we wait for the client to come back and say we are using you? Are we supposed to stay in contact with that before we even hear back from them? that's kind of the question that I asked you before, right, Jordan?
Yeah, yeah, and Denise, this is kind of a weird one where we just haven't heard back yet. And Jill's been wondering, do I bug them? Do I keep reaching out, or, will that bug them? I've reached out to Broker Center and still not gotten an answer.
So in this scenario, the homeowner is still in the home and it would be the homeowner listing the home. This is not inventory, right?
Yes,
Right.
Okay, so the decision is up to the homeowner, and you would treat this as you would with any of your retail transactions. Yes, I would reach out to them. I would go knock on their door. I would, do whatever, take them your cookies, whatever it is that one does to foster that relationship, to win that listing. And, I will tell you that, to my mind, it's always best to go in first. And even though they, have to get 2 BMAs, I try to get the listing right away.
Oh, I no, and I've tried to do that. I mean, I already did all of that. I already sent them
Okay.
CMA. I've texted them. I've done all of that. But I just didn't know if it was still a good idea for me to keep on pushing. They weren't going to be doing anything until the end of February, and I know he's super busy and she's trying to get relocated and all of that. So I know that there's a lot on their plate. I just was making sure that I didn't know if I was overstepping my bound. I'd like to keep up with them at least once a week and just tell them that I'm here if they have any questions or anything like that. I just didn't know if that was proper or not. So that you answered my question.
Good.
Thank
Yes,
you.
and good. And I hope that you secure the listing.
I do too. I need
Yeah,
it. We need it. We need listings here.
Oh, doesn't everybody?
Oh, it's awful.
Now, hey, let me ask you all this. I was just on a call with another client on the East Coast, and they're telling me that one of the things that's trending right now is that they have buyers that are offering $1,000 to the seller if the seller signs the contract. Nothing to do with the list price of the price of the home, nothing to do with that the house passes inspection or anything else, just $1,000 to the seller if the seller will sign the contract. Y'all heard of that?
No, I have heard
I
of,
think that would be illegal in Oregon.
yeah,
Okay.
but I have heard that buyers are releasing their earnest money upon acceptance.
Okay.
I've also heard of people putting multiple offers in for their buyers at the same time on different homes.
Can they do that? They're bidding
not
against
supposed to.
themselves?
No,
No, you're not supposed to.
no, it's kind of a cluster here right now. It's just a whole new world, and it seems like everybody forgot ethics completely. So it's.
And you think it would be illegal to offer $1,000 to get them to sign the contract?
Yes.
That's
You can't do
inducement
that
in
here.
Oregon.
Yeah, you can't do it here in Oregon.
I wonder
what about
why.
Washington? I'm just curious.
Well, it's the same way in Oregon. It's the same as like why we can't give the cash back with the
Yep.
Navy Federal. Same thing.
Can't do any incentives.
Even the buyer in the transaction can't do any incentives? I mean, it's not you as the agent.
I don't think you can. It's still something that will come back to us on liability, I think.
I don't think you
Yeah,
can
I
in
think it would come
Washington
down
either.
to yeah.
Well, darn, I thought I had a new suggestion for y'all. I guess not.
Yeah,
No,
in Washington, you can give a credit back at closing, but you cannot offer incentives to use you. So if you're going to offer them $1,000 to sign the contract, you have to give them that $1,000 to anyone they sign the contract with. So I know that we've tried, like I've tried with my children's sports and nonprofits over the years. If you send me a client and they close, I'll give you, $1,000 for your charity. And we're not
Right.
allowed to do that. If they send me a client, whether they close or not, I have to pay them what I'm saying that I'm going to pay them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And right now in Oregon, the sellers are taking any offers. I mean, we're looking between over $20,000 to $100,000 on certain properties that they're paying over and waiving appraisal. So it's just, and people are getting 20 to 25 offers on homes and just pushing that price point up, and buyers have that extra cash to be able to. So $1,000 for them just to take an offer right now would be, it wouldn't matter. It's not enough for what the sellers are being really offered here in Oregon.
And I tell
Probably
you,
Washington
no,
too.
that, Jill, I agree with you on that, because when I heard that as well, and this is a decently priced market, I thought, I don't see any big deal, but you know what, on the other hand, $1,000, $1,000, I mean, you know, if you're gonna give it to me for signing the contract, and if, you know, and if all things being equal and good and all that kind of stuff, but, yeah, the $1,000 is not gonna touch a $10,000 over, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, I just thought it was curious.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that is crazy. Well, does anybody
don't-
have anything else?
Well, I kind of have a question about clients. So when we get a client sent to us and it says on the automatic email thing that they're yours for 24 months, I believe.
Yes.
And then, so for example, I had a guy like back in, I want to say like March last year or something, or May. And he decided he wanted to rent instead of purchase.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll just keep in contact with him. But then, you know, I kind of, in a way, I mean, maybe you're supposed to just fudge the notifications a little, but it's like, it's kind of uncomfortable because you have to update all the time, but I'm not contacting him every, what is it, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
You don't even have
Right.
them on a drip campaign or anything?
Well, is that something we have? I don't do that.
Yeah,
But-
we have that through Zap, Lynn. Do you?
I was just gonna say through Zap.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like inadequate. I don't know. So I mean, I do keep in contact with him, and he did like just contact me again and said, "Hey, I'm ready." So I will be working with him, but all that time, like the 9 months it's been,
Right.
it's just,
Well, Lynn, it's totally fine to just when you get one of those notifications and you're supposed to do an update, all you have to do is say, this client is still on hold. They're going to rent in next year, or whatever the situation is, just a 1-sentence short thing. And that way it fulfills our metrics that we have to do. And it just reminds whoever looks at it in Broker Center that, oh yeah, that's the situation. So we're on hold, we're waiting. We do have to do those. So just say whatever it is, but it would be good for you to utilize Zap and put them on a drip campaign. If that's the only thing you use Zap for, it is very good for that. Who else in here? Angie, I know. Angie, Rhonda, Holly, do you guys use the Zap drips?
Yeah, I sure do.
Does that work?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I do. I went in and used the buyer, I think there's a buyer 24 contact, and I took the time to modify it where it was personalized to me, and then you can save it in the Zap and you can assign that.
That's brilliant. That's exactly the way you should be using that tool. You got to go into it. You got to make it yours and save it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Gia might even have a video or whatever on how to do that, like how to
Yes.
use that and adjust it to yourself and save it. And then it's at the top of your thing and it'll come up and you can just grab it.
Yeah, that is very worth your time, Lynn, to learn how to do that. It's very easy. It's not hard at all. Once you get it set up, like Angie said, she just kind of personalized the drip that's already in there. You can choose what you want, or you can even create your own. But it's just something that will go out and it'll be out of sight, out of mind. You won't even have to think about it.
I need to hire somebody or work with somebody that can show me how to do that. Also, like the marketing that we get from
Stephen.
From Stephen, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I pay for that and I've never used it because it's like so complicated and strange to me that I just like, I always want to use it. And then I'm like, I don't even know how to set this up. And so I never use
Sit with
it.
Gia. Call Gia and make an
Yeah.
appointment with Gia and sit with Gia. She's the Zap queen and she probably has already got a video on it.
Yeah, she could screen share and show you exactly how to do it. She's probably already done a video on that.
Okay.
It really
yeah, I
isn't
mean-
hard.
It's definitely a tool, and there's a lot of tools in there, and I understand your frustration because I look at some of those things too, and it just, I feel like it's a big sigh, but once you do it and then you get it all set up, it's kind of like you can set it and forget it. But you do have to put the time into it initially, just like we have to do with everything else. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not that hard. It's just taking the time. And, I know your time is very precious, but I think it would be worthwhile to you. And she is really a nice lady. Jordan and I worked with her when we were trying to get the whole lead router thing straightened out. That was such a disaster. And she did a great job with Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, Gio would be happy to help you, Lynn. I'm sure she would.
Okay,
Any
great.
any other questions?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, I was just gonna complain because it took me over a half hour this morning just to change my stinking Gmail password because I kept getting this notification saying I'm in the dark web or I don't know. So I was like, oh, I have to change it. And it was so frustrating. I wanted to scream.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, any other reload type questions, people? Nope. Okay,
Thank you.
Well, you're
Thanks.
welcome.
Take
Okay.
care.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a great month.
You too.